Several Pacific Island governments have brought in taxes on a variety of processed foods, particularly products that are high in salt, sugar and fat. This is part of their measures to reduce the incidence of non-communicable diseases that could be preventable. Andrea Teng from Otago University's Department of Public Health has studied the sugary drinks tax in Tonga and has broader research coming up. She spoke to Catherine Ryan this week.
Well, it was a recommendation by World Health Organization that we use things like fiscal policies, we use things like excise taxes, as we've done on alcohol and tobacco, and also things like subsidies, removing import tariffs or consumption tax, for example, as a way of improving our food environment. So we know we've got a huge problem globally in terms of our food environment with, increasing rates of chronic diseases like diabetes and cancer and tooth decay as well.
So was Tonga first, and is it furthest ahead in imposing these taxes?
Well, in terms of, we've looked previously at sugary drinks taxes, which are widely used around the world, so sort of over 100 countries have sugary drinks taxes. We were really interested in our latest piece of work at looking what food taxes other than drinks taxes that had been used in the Pacific, and there's 5 countries there that had introduced those. Tonga was one of them. I think the earliest one in the Pacific was French Polynesia in 2001, brought in excise on a selection of less healthy foods.
Give us an indication of the regime that's been introduced, if you would. How significant are these taxes in pushing up price?
The WHO would recommend around a 20% tax, so 20% of the price would be a tax level that's going to be effective and send enough of a price signal so that people's habits might change and they might choose healthier options. So many of these taxes are likely up around that level. So, for example, in Tonga, their highest level of tax is around $3.40 New Zealand dollars on things like lollies and sweets, and that's per kg. 3/4 of the Pacific countries in our region have a tax on sugary drinks, and then 5 of them, French Polynesia, Vanuatu, Tonga, Samoa and New Caledonia, have taxes on a much broader range of foods.
The question is, has there been a measurable impact? How did you go about assessing that?
Yeah, so we've looked at the sugary drinks tax in Tonga. We had data from their imports, so we could see most of their drinks imported into Tonga, and we could look at those trends over time. And there's a very, a direct time point in 2013 when that first tax came in, and we can see a change in the trend, so that there was less those drinks were imported than what we would expect otherwise, and that happened in each time that they put that tax up. So the sugary drinks imports decreased in Tonga, and then we saw, on the other hand, the water bottling and manufacturing increased at the same time. On our evaluations in Tonga, we did the sugary drinks first a few years back, and now we're going to look at the impact of the food taxes and the subsidies, actually, the import tariff subsidies and the took consumption tax off fruit as well. So we'll look at those impacts on what happens to their food prices, what happens to the level of imports on those products and other products, and then what happens to people's expenditure as well.